Hey students, your history teacher here. I hope this video finds you well and you are hanging in there at this point in the semester. In this video, we will briefly review the expectations, grading criteria, and a few things to include and consider for this week's discussion. Now, what you'll need to do for this week's discussion assignment is you need to watch the video on the bombing of Hamburg in 1943 from these timestamps right here. I'm not looking for you to analyze any information before or after these timestamps, so please plan accordingly. The audio transcript from these timestamps is also available right here in this link. I should warn you that you will need a YouTube account to actually view the video because it is graphic. Nevertheless, you could argue all history is graphic and controversial, but if we learn from the past, then the historical lesson is warranted, and hopefully we will not have to repeat the same mistakes that we did previously. So watch the video right here from these timestamps and make sure you relate everything you analyze in your discussion back to this central question. How does the video on the bombing of Hamburg in 1943 enhance your understanding of World War II? And remember, for full credit, I'm really looking for you to improve based on my feedback in the discussion's grading rubric. Remember, you need 2 separate and indented paragraphs, no more than 500 words in your discussion response. You need to reply to another student in at least 3 complete sentences. You need to include a year or a specific date in your response, like 1943, and you need to cite all historical evidence from the video and the textbook with correct APA in-text citations. Now let's take a look at one approach when it comes to organizing the discussion. What I've done here is I've created a rough outline for this discussion. I encourage you to at least write one rough draft or an outline before you submit your final version to Falcon Online. And that's what I did here. I've created rough topic sentences for each paragraph. Remember, the topic sentence for each paragraph should tell the reader exactly what the paragraph is about or its main point. So in this first paragraph topic sentence, hopefully you can see it sets up the entire paragraph here. The video on the bombing of Hamburg in 1943 enhanced my understanding of World War II this way, or by showing this. Now you're going to have to get creative and create your own topic sentence for each one of these paragraphs. And in the second one, the textbook discusses many events to compare with the bombing of Hamburg. And then you'll elaborate on these topic sentences with specific examples for instance, specific examples for each one of these paragraphs. You need dates. You need to limit those quotes to no more than 1 per paragraph so you can put a lot of the evidence and examples into your own words. Just make sure you cite it accordingly. And when you cite the video, just cite it like this. And remember, the APA in-text citation goes at the end of the sentence, before the period, and after the quotation, but before the period. So if you quote the video, the quotation needs to go there, followed by the APA in-text citation, and the period last. And then what you'll do here in this example for the second paragraph is you'll include other examples from the textbook. Remember, you need 2 direct examples and citations from the book for full credit. The tricky thing here is, for this assignment, the textbook does not discuss the bombing of Hamburg in 1943. Therefore, you got to put on your creativity hat and you got to select 2 direct examples and cite those examples in your response for full credit this week. What I did here is I've included screenshots from the index for both the 11th and the 12th editions of the textbook. That's the 11th, this is the 12th edition. So if you have the 11th edition, look up World War II in the index and check out all the different events, examples, and topics you can make comparisons with, and same thing with the 12th edition. I'm not trying to tell you what to write. I'm really looking for you to think for yourself in our class and throughout your entire life. But a lot of examples to consider for this assignment would be things like the atomic attacks on Japan in 1945, the Battle of Britain and the Blitz, for instance, and at the same time, other direct examples to the bombing of Hamburg in 1943. Particularly strategic bombing on these pages really are great comparisons for one of them. Just make sure you cite them accordingly. And one thing that's not listed here, another good one would be the Casablanca Conference of 1943. The Casablanca Conference of 1943. So I'm looking for you to get creative, think for yourself, and make sure, again, you need 2 direct comparisons and citations. If you have any questions or you need help with the writing process, feel free to visit during office hours or email me, and I'll be happy to give you some feedback before you post. In review, this video covered the expectations grading criteria for this week's assignment, and at the same time, we discussed some things to consider when it comes to examples from the video and comparisons with the textbook and citations. Remember, knowledge is power. I look forward to reading your discussion. Take care.